Hello y'all, welcome back to Case Can Probably Read. My name was once Casey, and I hold hope in my heart that one day it shall be Casey again. It's been about a year since I have made a video. I made one this summer, but I ended up taking it down because it was just kind of a real rush thing to let people know that I was still alive. It's been a long year. A lot of stuff happened. I did need to take a break for a little bit, but it is now May, and there's Asian Readathon, which is going on, hosted by Cindy, and I really wanted to participate in that. The first year I tried to was 2 years ago. I started and I did not finish. I did not finish the prompts or the challenges. Last year I did finish all of the challenges, but I only uploaded one video about some of the books I had read. I didn't upload about the second half of the books that I had read. But this year I'm really hopeful that I'm going to be able to participate, read all the books, and also upload my thoughts about them. That's the plan. We'll see. Like I said, I did finish all of the prompts from last year's Asian Readathon. I had uploaded a video about maybe the first 3 books that I had read, but I read a few more. I did actually finally finish the Shusaku Endo book. Where is it? It's up there. Oh, Silence. I finished Silence, which was a really good book. And I'm glad that I read it when I did. If I had read it any sooner, I definitely don't think that I would have been ready for it, because it did bring up a lot of questions about faith and apostasy and where that line is drawn. And I think that a lot of people my age that were raised in organized religion, specifically evangelicals or similar ilk, a lot of people in my age group are going through a deconstruction of their faith right now, and kind of figuring out where that line of apostasy is, because we've been brought up with a lot of ideas about what's heresy and what's not. And many of us are finding out that things that we were taught were heresy really weren't, and have nothing to do with how the church was originally meant to be. And some people are deciding to walk away from faith altogether. And it was funny that this book, which is set, I think, in the 1600s, it might have been earlier, it might have been the 1500s, in Japan, has a lot of the same themes. It has a lot of the same issues that these priests are facing as they're trying to be missionaries in Japan. And so I really liked it. It actually wasn't a very long read, but it was very saturated. As far as the other books that I read for last year's Asian Readathon, honestly, I might have missed one or two. I think I read one by Uzma, Jallaludin, and I don't think I ever did a review of that. And honestly, I can't remember exactly what it's about, but I think it was kind of a Pride and Prejudice retelling. And it was good. I remember it being very warm and very wholesome. It was a romance. Then I also had planned to read, I think it was Helen Hoang. The first one of her series about, what was the first one? I called it the wrong thing before. It's called The Kiss Quotient. I had only intended to read The Kiss Quotient last year, and then I ended up reading the entire trilogy. So I followed up The Kiss Quotient with I think it was The Bride Test is the second one. And then the third one, The Heart Principle, was it was very good, and it kind of wrecked me. You have a couple in each of these romances by Helen Hoang, and one of the members of those couples in each book is on the autism spectrum in some form or fashion. And so that last one was about a grown woman who is a musician who just found out that she actually is just now getting diagnosed with autism. And that, I'm not going to say a lot about it, but that kind of hit pretty close to home. I mean, it was really, really good. It was really good to read, but it was also kind of heavy in a way. So I read all of that trilogy in May. And I think I read some others. I can't remember. The big part that I want to get to is I kind of was starting to shut down as far as what I was able to read and what I was able to do outside of like my everyday activities. I started for the first time in May reading gay romance or MM romance. I had never really read any before that I can remember. I know I had read The Other Man by Farhad Dadibujor last year, but I felt like the onus of that book, like the focus of that book, wasn't as much about the romance as it was about this one character and the changes he was going through. I started with, I think it's Lucy Lennox is the author, and it's a series of, I think it's called Forever Wild. And it's about this family. They're the Wilde family. Wilde is their last name. They all come from this small town in North Texas called Hobie. And it was a lot of fun. So I started that one in May, and I just kind of kept going. Long story short, basically from May of last year until this moment that I'm talking to you, the majority of what I have read has been MM romance. At this point, I have definitely read somewhere north of 200 of them. I don't know if it became like a special interest or if it just became like a hyperfixation of some sort, but that was just the only thing I wanted to read. I went through some really strange anxiety and kind of burnout in the early fall and late summer, and this was just all that my brain could handle, and that's just how it has stayed up until this point. I did read maybe like one or two other books that wouldn't fall in the MM romance category, but other than that, that is all I've read. Last year, I think I managed to read about 72 books. That was 2021. Way back when. I read about 72 books, and I think in 2022 I read about 210 books, and that's because the majority of those, I think I read 60 of something else, and then everything else was MM, and I've already socked away about 80 more this year in 2023, and we're in May, early May. So they say to read what you like, and so I did. And that has enabled me to read a lot. So make of that what you will. Anyhow, this was just a really, hopefully brief and quick video, kind of come back into this and let you know like a real quick rundown of what I've been reading. And hopefully I'm going to be able to get up another video very soon that is just my TBR for May, which will include a lot of the picks that I'm going to read for Asian Readathon. So I'll be doing that for my next video, hopefully. And then we'll just see where we go from there. I've never had any kind of like consistency as far as posting, so it's not like that's a new thing. Anyhow, that's all I have to say for now. If my brand of awkward appeals to you, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I don't know, read what your brain will let you read. Bye.